What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. This episode is as a result of a profound realization that I had while I was in the shower yesterday. It was so profound that I literally broke down crying. I kept repeating the words, "How could I have ever doubted you?" I was ashamed of myself for not seeing, not recognizing the grace of God. Because the place I was looking for it and at it from was such a selfish place that when I connected the dots and realized and bowed to the duty that God has to spread His grace around to protect all of us, even when it doesn't look like direct protection for one, it might be more indirect for you, but more direct for someone else. But if you only see it from how the grace serves you, you miss out on the magnitude of that grace and overlook the massive task that God has to be in service to all of us. I usually don't start my podcast with the crux of the entire message up front, but I didn't feel like preambling this one. There really isn't a lot to say about this realization, other than how humbling it is and how restoring it is. We have no other perspective but to look at life through our own. We are the protagonist. We think everything revolves around us, as if we are the only ones that matter. And in some regards, you need that main character energy. But in many other ways, it makes us overlook that we share this planet with many other people, this existence with many other souls, and that each one of us are our own main characters, entirely different forces of nature, headed in their own directions. And in some places we merge, in some places we complement, in other places we oppose the energies of others. And all that is part of this shared experience of life. Concurrent realities, concurrent grace, sometimes merged, sometimes parallel, never to meet, sometimes in opposition. Even the grace, not always in alignment with you. Does that make it any less graceful? I was thinking about some events that have happened and occurred over this past year. And at the time, when I am in pain, going through events that I would not consider favorable for me, I find it easy to discount the grace. I automatically think, maybe this is my dark night, my test, or just my punishment for something. Not exactly easy to see how it's serving me. But yesterday, I had the realization that while those very things that were working against and in disservice to me, it may seem, it is now clear to me that at that very time when I thought everything was against me, at that very same time, it was in service to someone else I love dearly. And so in some indirect way, isn't that also service to me? Isn't that also grace towards me? If it's grace towards someone I love, it still serves me. It was almost like being slapped in the face with humility after having this realization, being shrunk down to the size that I belong to. I didn't realize how I was just looking back at the past through a selfish scope, how If it didn't serve me, I considered it a bad time. I considered it punishment. Only when I realized, oh my God, you might have caused me pain, but you saved them from so much pain. I see what you did now, and I see why you did it. How could I ever have doubted you? How could I have not been able to see past myself? And now that I see how it all added up, I'm so ashamed to have ever doubted. And now that I know, if I had to be the sacrifice in saving them, I would do it 1,000 times over again. We selfishly look for grace, for blessings, for benefit, locally, just to ourselves, for ourselves. We fail to see how the job of grace is a global one, to be spread around evenly, fairly, not to be measured from one particular instance for one particular person or not. He doesn't just extend grace to you, he extends it to us, all of us. And perhaps the dua, the blessing from your prayers, will be answered more beautifully than you worded it. After all, he is the most merciful. I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.